Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. I am absolutely pumped to guide you through our source material today because we are looking at a truly fascinating, deeply provocative theory. The text we're analyzing suggests that the everyday legal language we use without even a second thought is actually a hidden, deliberately designed mechanism for control. I know, it sounds a little wild, right? But this isn't just a lesson on grammar or vocabulary. The author proposes a framework where our very identities are unknowingly wrapped up in a linguistic trap.
So let's just dive right into this. The source text immediately confronts us with a massive, literally paradigm-shifting question. What if the name you've used your entire life, the one on your bank statements, your mail, your ID, isn't actually yours at all? According to the theory presented here, that name was never designed for you as a living, breathing person. Instead, the author argues that it was designed to be, your cell. And that is the central premise we're exploring today. The idea that you might be living inside a linguistic prison without even knowing the bars exist.
And the text makes a remarkably bold claim right out of the gate. It frames this information as forbidden knowledge, asserting that these concepts were systematically wiped from our educational systems way back in 1946. Why? Well, because, as the author posits, the architects of our modern system knew that if the general population could decode this specific legal language, the system would immediately lose its control over them. It is a super compelling hook, and it definitely challenges us to look incredibly closely at the words we use every single day.
All right, let's switch into our investigative decoder mode for Section 1, Secret Etymology, the hidden roots of everyday words. Let's look at the word person. Most of us just casually use this word to mean a human being, right? But the source points out that the Latin root of the word is persona. In ancient Roman theater, a persona was quite literally a mask worn by actors to play different fictional characters. So, within this theoretical framework, the author claims that when the legal system refers to a person, it's not actually referring to your living soul. Instead, it's referring to a fictional character created by the state, a mask designed specifically to be taxed, regulated, and controlled. It's kind of crazy to think that next time you call yourself a person, you might just be putting on a 2,000-year-old theatrical mask.
The text then applies that exact same etymological breakdown to the word citizen. Now, usually we think of being a citizen as a badge of honor, but the author asserts a rather surprising story here. They break the word down into the Latin civitas, combined with the concept of zazen, which relates to being seated. Because of this, the source argues that being a citizen actually denotes being seated, or essentially domesticated within city limits. It's framed as a label for someone who is contained and compliant, rather than someone who is free to roam as an independent, sovereign being.
Which bridges us perfectly into Section 2, the legal fiction, and the mystery of your all-caps name.
Let's break down the actual mechanics of this argument, because it's pretty fascinating. The text argues that your birth certificate didn't actually certify that you, the biological human, were born. Rather, it certified the creation of a legal fiction. Think about the last time you looked at your passport, your driver's license, or even a utility bill. You've probably noticed your name is written in all capital letters. Well, according to the source material, this isn't just some stylistic choice made by a printer. In this specific legal theory, that all-caps name is a corporate entity. It's the mask the system uses to interact with you. Furthermore, the text claims that every single time you sign for that all-caps name, you are essentially donning that mask and legally consenting to stand under the jurisdiction of their rules.
And this brilliantly illustrates the absolute stark contrast at the very heart of the author's theory. We've basically got a split screen of two completely distinct paradigms of human existence laid out right here. On one side, we have the legal person, regulated, fictional, contained, basically existing as a passive subject. On the flip side, we have the living soul, fluid, free, sovereign, acting as an active creator of their own reality. The text insists that we are constantly, day in and day out, being tricked into operating as the former, when our true nature is actually the latter.
Okay, we're shifting our investigation now from the legal realm over to the psychological realm, with Section 3, Programming the Subconscious, Language as Code.
The text posits that your subconscious mind is essentially this highly advanced biological quantum computer. It doesn't judge, it simply executes whatever commands you feed into it. Therefore, when you state, "I am a citizen" or "I am a person," the author theorizes that you aren't merely describing yourself. You are actually activating a cosmic contract. You're giving your high-performance neurological hardware a direct command that programs it to believe it's stuck in a box. The theory is that this forces your brain to filter all of reality through the highly limited lens of a governed subject rather than a limitless creator.
So, we've explored the problem. Now let's look at the author's proposed fix in Section 4, the solution, reclaiming linguistic sovereignty.
The source actually provides a highly specific 7-day linguistic sovereignty protocol designed to shatter all of this identity programming. It's broken down into 2 very distinct daily practices. Step 1 is the vocabulary detox, and Step 2 is the I am reconstruction. Let's take a closer look at exactly how the author instructs us to execute these steps.
So, for the vocabulary detox, the author demands that for a full 7 days, you entirely stop calling yourself a citizen. Just drop the word completely. Instead, you have to start recognizing yourself as a sovereign being, which the text explicitly defines as having supreme authority over yourself. The practical application looks like this. Whenever you feel a mental pull to identify with that legal mask, say, maybe when you're paying taxes or dealing with some sort of bureaucracy, you are instructed to pause, take 3 deep breaths, and consciously label that feeling as identity programming. It's all about actively disrupting an automatic habit.
The second step, the I am reconstruction, takes place every single morning. The text instructs that before you even touch your phone, you must speak 3 I am declarations out loud. But there's a catch. They absolutely must be believable to you. So, if you're totally broke, the text advises against saying, I am a billionaire. Instead, the author provides this powerful, really authoritative example. I am the sovereign consciousness in which my reality appears. This is designed to firmly establish your creative authority right at the start of your day.
The ultimate goal of this daily protocol, at least according to the source, is profound. By taking control of the words I am, you're using what the author calls the most powerful phrase in human language. The theory goes that by consistently applying this 7-day detox, you are quite literally rewriting the source code of your reality, fundamentally shifting your operating system from that of a passive, governed observer to an active, completely sovereign creator.
Which brings us to our final part. Section 5, the active creator, broadcasting your frequency.
Here's the crucial point. According to the source's conclusion, true freedom isn't just about escaping a legal trap. It actually requires taking total, unyielding ownership of your own creative authority. The text claims that once you experience the shift of abandoning that legal fiction mask, you can never really go back. But with that massive realization comes the ultimate responsibility for the exact frequency and reality you are constantly broadcasting out into the quantum field. You're no longer following a script written by a system, right? You are writing the whole shebang yourself.
Which leaves us with this final, incredibly provocative question based on the text's theory. If our everyday words really are a hidden code, how will you choose to identify moving forward? Whether you view this source material as a literal legal truth or just a super fascinating metaphorical lens for personal empowerment, it undeniably challenges us to look closely at the language we accept as normal. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I will see you next time.